Next topic, parallel plate capacitor. So, in parallel plate capacitor, I am going to take two conductors, generally we call them as plates, which are arranged parallel to each other. So, this is the first plate. And this is the second plate. Let the length of this plate is L and width of this plate is L1 and this is L2. Similarly, this is also L1 and L2. The distance between the two plates, that means distance of separation between the two plates is, let us say this is D. And the air is the medium between these two plates. Now, how to find out the capacitance of this arrangement? So, to find out the capacitance, first of all we should know the potential difference between these two plates, that is Q by delta V. Let us say this is charged positively, this surface is charged positively and the inner surface will get a negative charge, this surface will get negative charge and as it is earthed. So, this is the arrangement. Let the total charge on this one is plus Q and charge on this one is minus Q. So, as usual, if you take any point between these two plates, we know that electric field due to the positive plate is given by, as it is a thin plate, this will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So, here electric field due to positive plate will act in this direction, this is E plus. Similarly, electric field due to negative plate is given by sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is also towards the negative plate. That means, both fields at this point are equal in magnitude, sigma by 2 epsilon naught as well as sigma by 2 epsilon naught and also acting in the same direction. So, what is the E net at that point? The net electric field is given by E positive plus E negative. So, this you can write E net is given by sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught, 2 to get cancelled, this will become sigma by epsilon naught. So, this is the field between the two plates. In general, if you see these two plates, you can draw these two as like this also. This is the first plate, this is the second plate. Only the side view. So, this is the positive charge on this one and this is the negative charge on this one. And the area of this plate A is equal to L1 into L2 because area of this plate length into breadth. Distance between these two plates is D. This is the distance between two plates. Now, based on this one, I found the electric field between the two plates. Now, how to find out the potential difference? Here, we can find the potential difference by assuming uniform as well as non-uniform field. Suppose if the field between these two is uniform, generally between two parallel plates which are separated by a small distance, field will be uniform. So, for uniform electric field, E is equal to V by D. So, electric field is equal to potential difference by distance between the two plates. So, V is equal to E D. So, V is equal to E is sigma by epsilon naught. This is sigma by epsilon naught into D. So, how to find out the capacitance now? The capacitance is E is given by Q by V. This is Q by sigma D by epsilon naught. Here, epsilon naught Q by, what is sigma? Sigma is the surface charge density which is given by Q by A. So, here I am writing this is Q by A into D. You can cancel Q and Q. This will become epsilon naught A by D. So, this is the capacitance by assuming the uniform field between the two plates. Suppose if the field is not uniform, then how to write this one? The same expression E is equal to delta V is equal to minus E dr. V is equal to minus integral E dr. So, V is equal to minus integral sigma by epsilon naught into dr. So, what is the variable here? The distance, because sigma and epsilon naught are constant. So, minus sigma by epsilon naught, this will be integral dr, the minimum value from here to here, minimum value of r is 0 and maximum value is d. So, limits are 0 to d. So, the potential difference is given by minus sigma by epsilon naught, integral dr will be d with limits 0 to r. So, this will be sigma by epsilon naught d minus 0, which is given by sigma d by epsilon naught. Here, even though we have minus here, you take the magnitude of this one, the potential difference, which is given by sigma d by epsilon naught. What is sigma? Sigma is equal to q by a. So, this can be written as q by a d by epsilon naught. This is the potential difference between the two plates. Now, how to find the capacitance? C by magnitude of the potential difference between the two plates. This can be q by qd by a epsilon naught, q get cancelled. This is epsilon naught a by d. So, this, if you see this one as well as this one, both are similar. Whether you consider this as a uniform electric field or non-uniform electric field, you are going to get the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor as C is equal to epsilon naught a by d. In parallel plate capacitor, we have different cases. Case 1, so this is the first plate, this is the second plate, and the distance between these two is a small d, and the entire space between these two plates is completely filled with air. So, this is the positive charge on the first plate, this is the negative charge on the second plate, outer surface is earthed here, and this is connected to battery. So, what is the capacitance of this capacitor, parallel plate capacitor? This is given by epsilon naught a by d. So, this is the expression that can be used to find out the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor if the space between the two plates is completely filled with air. So, this is C air. Generally, we denote with C, or you can write C naught or C air, which is given by epsilon naught a by d. Now, second case, let me take the same capacitor here. This is the same capacitor, and the distance between these two plates is d, and the charges on this one are positive charges. This is a negative charge, and this is the wire that is connected to the battery, and this side it is earthed here. Now, if the space between these two is previously air, let us say this is completely filled with a dielectric medium here of dielectric constant K. That means the space between the two plates is completely filled with the dielectric medium here. Space between two plates is completely filled with dielectric medium. Then what happens to the capacitance here? The capacitance of this one is given by here C dash, let me write. This will be in place of epsilon naught, this will be epsilon. Area and distance between two plates as it is, because area of this one is A, here also it is A. So, only this will change, but we know that epsilon is equal to K times the epsilon naught. So, this will become K epsilon naught A by D. So, the capacitance is given by K times the epsilon naught A, which is become C dash is equal to Kc. So, this is when the space between the two plates is completely filled with the dielectric. In the same case, how to find out the potential? Here, how to find the potential? V is equal to, we know that C is equal to Q by V, or V is equal to Q by C. This is Q by epsilon naught A by D. So, this is the potential between the two plates. But what is the potential between these two plates? The potential V dash is given by charge is not changing, capacitance is C dash. So, which is given by Q by, what is C dash? That is K epsilon naught by D. So, if you write this one D K epsilon naught A. This is the original potential. So, whenever a dielectric is placed between the two plates of a capacitor, the potential decreases by K times. So, here I proved this one. Now, in the third case, so let me take one capacitor. This is a parallel plate capacitor with the two plates having area A, separate by a distance small d. And the charges on this one is plus, 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 plus. Here this is a negative charge, minus q, and this is a plus q. In this case, let the some part of this one means some area, some portion between the two plates is filled with a dielectric constant K. So, what is the thickness of air between the two plates? Total thickness or separation is d. Thickness of this one is, let us say this is a small t. So, thickness of air is equal d minus t, and the thickness of dielectric is equal to t. So, how to find out the capacitance of this one when it is partially filled? Here, space between two plates is partially filled with the dielectric. So, in this case, the potential difference between these two, we need to find out the potential formula q d by epsilon naught. So, the potential is equal to potential between the two plates with the air as the dielectric medium plus potential with the dielectric. So, what is the formula for potential? Charge into distance between two plates by epsilon into A. So, here for air q, what is the thickness of air? This is d minus t. So, let me write this as d minus t by epsilon naught A plus what is the potential difference between the two ends of this one between the dielectric? This is going by charge is q, but what is the thickness of this one? T by this will be epsilon A. Here for air this is epsilon naught, for dielectric it will be epsilon. So, what are the common terms here? So, let me simplify this one q d minus t by epsilon naught A plus this you can write it as k epsilon naught. So, this you can write q t by k epsilon naught into A. So, the potential difference between the two plates when the space between the two plates is partially filled, this is partially filled with dielectric, q epsilon naught A is common, q by epsilon naught A common, the remaining terms are d minus t by t plus k. So, this is the potential difference between the two plates. Now, the final expression to find out the capacitance between the two plates is given by C is equal to Q by V, that is Q by, these terms will become Q by epsilon naught A d minus t by k. Here Q get cancelled, and if you bring this one up, you will get epsilon naught A by d minus t plus t by k. This is the capacitance of this capacitor when in the space between the two plates is partially filled with dielectric. Case 4. So, these are the two plates and the charges on this one are positive here and negative here. Total charge minus q, total charge plus q, here it is connected to battery and this side it is earthed. Now, instead of this dielectric, let me take one metallic conductor here. So, this is a metal. So, this I am writing it as metal. If a metal plate of thickness T is placed between the two plates, so how the capacitance of this capacitor changes? I can use the same formula here for partially filled epsilon naught A by d minus t plus t by k. But we know that k is equal to infinite for metal, for any metal. So, now if you substitute here infinite, so something infinite will become 0, this will become 0. The capacitance in this case will become epsilon naught A by d minus t. That means, the capacitance of this capacitor only depends upon the area of the plate, epsilon naught, that is permittivity of free space, and this is the thickness of air between the two plates. So, only this as well as this thickness. Now, in the fifth case, let us say this is a parallel plate capacitor and here this is connected to a battery, this is earthed on this side. Now, instead of this let us say if you keep a metal piece that is connected between the two plates like this, that means the two metal plates which are having positive charge plus q and minus q separated by a distance small d having area A are connected with a metal strip or metallic wire. Then what happens? We know that whenever two conductors are connected with a metal, flow of charge takes place between these two till their potentials are equal. So, what is the potential of this one here? The potential of this plate minus plate is 0 as it is earthed. So, when it is connected with a metal wire or metal plate or metal strip, the potential of this one that is positive plate will become 0. That means both plates will have 0 potential after some time. That means both are said to be shorted now. So, capacitor is said to be shorted. So, what is the total potential difference between these two plates? Very clear. The potential on this one is 0, potential on this one is 0. So, the potential difference is also 0. So, the capacitance will become C is equal to Q by V. This is charge on any one of plate by 0. So, this will become infinity. So, whenever two plates of a capacitor are connected or joined with a metallic strip or metallic wire, the total capacitance of the system will become infinite. So, what is the meaning of this infinity? The capacity will become infinity such that you can send any amount of charge. That means these plates can hold only some quantity of charge now. But when a metal plate is placed here, you can send lot of charge onto this metal plate. So, that is why the capacitance is said to be infinite. Now, in parallel plate capacitor, we discussed 5 points till now. The sixth case. So, a capacitor is given with the two plates of unequal area. This is A1 and this is A2. In the first 5 cases, the area of each plate was same. But here, the geometry is different. That means, area of this one is A1, this is A2. So, here A1 less than A2, but the distance between these two plates, it is let us say given as D. So, A1 less than A2. Now, what is the capacitance of this parallel plate capacitor if the area of the two plates are different? Generally, capacitance is given by epsilon naught A by D if the space between two plates is completely filled with air. But here, which area we have to consider? We have two areas, but let us say this is positively charged and this is negatively charged here. So, we need to consider only the area of the smaller plate. Why? Because the field lines that are traveling here will travel like this and these lines will travel like this. So, you have to take only this area. That means, area of this plate is A1 and the area of this plate, even though it is A2, we have to consider A1. So, this formula epsilon naught A1 by D. Next, series combination of capacitors. This is capacitor 1, capacitor 2, capacitor 3. So, we have taken 3 capacitors C1, C2, C3 which are connected to a voltage source V. So, this is the positive terminal of the voltage source and this is the negative terminal of the voltage source, and the potential difference between these two is V. Now, when 3 capacitors are connected in series, we know that whatever the charge that is coming from this system, that is from voltage source, will travel through the 3 capacitors. That means, Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to Q3. Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to Q3. But we know that C is equal to Q by V. C is equal to Q by V. and Q is equal to CV. So, we can write C1 V1 is equal to C2 V2 is equal to C3 V3. This is also equal to the total charge. Whatever the charge that is coming from the battery will travel through the first one, second one, travel one. So, this one CV, where C is the effective capacitance of this combination. So, this is the first point. Now, the total potential of this battery is V. The potential drop across the first capacitor is V1, let it be V2, this is V3. So, what we can write, V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3, this is equation 2. From this, V is equal to Q by C. So, we can write Q by C is equal to Q1 by C1 plus Q2 by C2 plus Q3 by C3. As you know that Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to Q3 is equal to Q, you can cancel this and this. So, the effective capacitance in series combination, here I am writing this as CS is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. So, the reciprocal of the capacitance of the series combination is equal to the sum of the reciprocal of the individual capacitances in this combination. And one more point is, the effective capacitance C is always less than C1, C2 and C3. That is, CS is always less than the least capacitance of the combination. Capacitance of the capacitor of the combination. So, in a combination, let us say the capacitance is 2, 3, 4. The individual capacitors are 2 farad, 3 farad, 4 farad. This value is always less than 2. The least one is 2. So, this is always less than 2. So, this is the capacitance of this one. Now, in general, in competitive exams, they may ask you to find out the effective capacitance, or they may ask you to find out the potential difference across any one of the capacitor. So, now in this problem, let us say they ask you to find out V2. So, how to find V2? You see this equation, C2 V2 is equal to CV. Here C is equal to effective capacitance CSV. So, how to find V2? The potential across the potential drop across the second capacitor is given by CSV by C2. Suppose if they ask you to find out the V1, the same thing, V1 will be CSV by C1 and V3 will be CSV by C3. So, this is V1, this is V2, this is V3. Now, let me take one simple problem here. So, in a series combination, we have 3 different capacitors. This is 2 microfarad, 4 microfarad, 8 microfarad connected to a battery of potential, let us say 100 volts. So, what is the effective capacitance and the potential across the second capacitor? So, first to find out the effective capacitance, 1 by CS is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3, 1 by CS 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8, LCM 8, 2 4s, 4 2s, 8 1s. This is 7 by 8. So, the effective capacitance is not 7 by 8, this is 8 by 7 microfarad. So, this is the effective capacitance. Now, I want to find out the potential drop across the second capacitor, and the expression for this one is V2 is equal to CS into V by C2. What is CS here? This is 8 by 7. The actual potential applied is 100 volts. By the capacitance of the second capacitor is 4. So, this is 4 2s. So, this is 200 by 7 volts. So, actual potential applied is 100 volts and this will be 200 by 7 volts. Now, if they ask you to find out V3, you can find by using this formula, and V1 you can find by using this formula. So, here what is the ratio of the charges through these 3 capacitors? That is Q1 is to Q2 is to Q3, which is equal to 1 is to 1 is to 1. Why? Because as the charge flowing through all these capacitors is equal to the charge that is coming from the battery. So, this will be 1:1:1. So, what is the ratio between the potential drop across the three capacitors, that is V1:V2:V3. We know that V is equal to Q by C, that is nothing but Q by C1 is to Q by C2 is to Q by C3, or I can write 1 by C1 is to 1 by C2 is to 1 by C3 as Q1, Q2, Q3 are same. So, based on this one, what we can say, V inversely proportional to C. That means, if the capacitance is less, the potential drop across that one will be more. So, this is inversely proportional to the capacitance in series combination. Now, here also if you observe this one, what is the ratio of V1 is to V2 is to V3 in this given problem? This will be 1 by 2 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 8. Now, you can write 1 is to 1 by 2 is to 1 by 4. So, it is clear that this is a 0.5, 1 is to, this is 0.5, this is 0.25. So, where the potential drop is more? Here potential drop is more in the first capacitor. Here capacitance is less. Out of these three, it is having least capacitance, but the potential drop will be more in that first capacitor, so that the charge remains same in the 3, because Q is equal to CV. So, Q1 is equal to C1 V1. When the capacitance is less, potential will be more, so that the Q remains same in all these three capacitors. Instead of three capacitors, suppose if you take only two capacitors here, which are C1 and C2 connected to a battery of potential V. Now, what is the ratio of charges here? Same thing, Q1 is equal to Q2, Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to Q. What is the ratio of the potential drop across these two? This is equal to 1 by C1 is to 1 by C2. What is the effective capacitance? So, only you have to take for two capacitors. So, this will be 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. If you take LCM C1 C2 and the denominator C1 C2 and numerator will be C1 plus C2. So, the effective capacitance Cs is given by product of the two capacitors by sum of the two capacitors, that is Cs is equal to C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. Now, in this case, so this is called a potential division formula. So, this is called potential division formula. So, from potential division or voltage division formula, let me write voltage division only. Voltage division formula. So, what is V1? V1 is given by the same thing, Cs into V by C1. So, this formulas can be applied not only for three capacitors, for any number of capacitors. Here I have taken two capacitors. So, what is the effective capacitance of these two capacitors? This will be C1 C2 by C1 plus C2, this is a Cs, into V by this will be C1, C1 get cancelled. So, the potential drop or voltage drop across the first capacitor is given by the total potential into capacitance of the other capacitor by sum of the two capacitors. So, this is very important formula. The potential drop in the two capacitor series combination, the potential drop across the first capacitor is given by the total potential applied into the capacitance of the other capacitor by sum of the two capacitors. Based on this one, similarly V2 can also be written as the total potential applied into the capacitance of the other capacitor by C1 plus C2. You can see this is V1 and V2. If you divide these two, V and V get cancelled, the denominators get cancelled. What we can write? V1 by V2 is equal to V1 by V2 is equal to, when these two get cancelled, finally you will be left with C2 by C1. So, this is the expression that we got here. So, this is V1 by V2 is equal to 1 by C1 means C2 by C1. The same expression I got by using this voltage division formula. Instead of two capacitors, let us say I took a large number of capacitors. These are capacitance C1, C2, C3, let us say this is Cn. So, this is connected to a cell or battery of potential V. So, in this combination, what is the effective capacitance? The effective capacitance of this large series combination is given by 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3 and so on 1 by Cn. So, for based on this one you can find out the LCM here and you can add this one and finally you will get a CS value. Similarly, here also the ratio of the potential drop across this combination is given by V1 is to V2 is to V3 up to Vn. This will be 1 by C1 is to 1 by C2 is to and so on 1 by Cn. So, this is for non-identical capacitors. That means C1 is not similar to C2 and these are different. Instead of this one, let us say if I take similar capacitors here. Similar capacitors means capacitance of this one is C, this is also C, this is C, this is C. So, I connected N identical capacitors for N identical capacitors. This expression will become 1 by C plus 1 by C plus 1 by C till that last capacitance C. So, this can be written as, if you take LCM C, you will get 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus and so on 1. So, if you add all these, let us say if there are 5 capacitors, you will get 5 here. If there are 10 capacitors, you will get 10 here. If there are n capacitors, you will get n by C. So, what is the effective capacitance of a series combination when n identical capacitors are connected in series? Connected in series. So, CS is given by, this is 1 by CS is equal to n by C. So, what is CS? This will be C by n. That means the effective capacitance decreases by n times. Let us say this is 10 farad, 10 farad, 10 farad. Let us say there are 10 capacitors. So, this will become 10 by 10. So, this will be 1 farad. Now, what is the ratio of the potential drops here? This will be V1 is to V2 is to V3 and so on up to Vn, which is going to be 1 by C, 1 by C, 1 by C. So, here also the potential also divides equally in the ratio of 1 is to 1 is to 1 is to 1. So, this is very important another formula in this series combination. Parallel combination of capacitors. Let me take 3 capacitors of different capacitances C1, C2, C3 and all the positive terminals are connected, positive plates are connected to one point and the negative plates are connected to another point and these two plates are connected together to a battery of potential V. So, here what happens? Whatever the charge that is coming from this one Q, when it comes to this point A, here it divides into Q1, Q2, Q3. So, we can write here the potential across any branch of this parallel combination remains same. So, first point V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3 is equal to V. So, potential drop across the first capacitor is equal to the potential drop across the second capacitor is also equal to the potential drop across the third capacitor and this is equal to the potential of the cell or battery connected to this combination. But what we can say, when the charge is coming here to point A, at A it divides into 3 parts, we can write Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. We know that C is equal to Q by V or Q is equal to CV. We can write CV is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus C3 V3. As you know that V is equal to V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3, we can write C is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3, where this is the effective capacitance of the parallel combination of the capacitors. So, this is C1 plus C2 plus C3. But here the charge is dividing. In series combination the voltage or the potential is dividing, but in parallel combination the charge is dividing. How to find the charge through this one or first branch or second branch or third branch? So, for this we can write this formula V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3 is equal to V. So, what is V1? V1 is equal to Q by C1. This is Q1 by C1 is equal to Q2 by C2 is equal to Q3 by C3 is equal to the total charge Q by Cp. Now, If I wish to find out the charge that is passing through the first branch, that is Q1. So, let me take these two equations. This will become Q1 by C1 is equal Q by Cp. So, what is Q1 here? Q1 is nothing but the total charge by the effective capacitance of the parallel combination into the capacitance of that capacitor in which this charge Q1 is passing. So, this is the charge division formula. So, this is called charge division formula in parallel combination. Charge division rule or formula, what it will be. So, based on this one, charge divides. Now, let me solve one problem based on this one. I have taken 3 capacitors. This capacitance 2, this is 3, this is 4, let us say nanofarads, and this combination is connected to, let us say this is 100 volts. First of all, what is the effective capacitance in parallel combination? The effective capacitance is going to be sum of the 3 capacitors, and once again the effective capacitance of the parallel capacitor is always, parallel combination is always greater than the capacitance of the large capacitance in this series, in this combination. So, here 4, 3, 2. So, 4 is the biggest. This value is greater than 4. Why? Because this is sum of these 3. So, here the answer will be 2 plus 3 plus 4. So, this is 9 farads. So, the effective capacitance 9 farad is greater than 2, greater than 3, greater than 4. So, Cp greater than C1 and also greater than C2 as well as C3. Now, what is the charge that is going to pass through this one, the first branch Q1? To find out Q1, I need to use this charge division rule. So, Q1 is equal to total charge into capacitance of that capacitor in that branch by sum of the 3 capacitors. Why? Because this is Cp, which is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. So, this is C1 plus C2 plus C3. But how to find this Q, the total charge? It is not given here. The total charge is obtained, Q is equal to Cv, that is Cp into V. The total charge is equal to, the Cp is 9 microfarad, voltage is 100. So, charge Q is equal to 900 nanocoulombs. This is the main charge that is coming from the cell or battery. Now, this can be written as 900 into, what is C1? 2 by, what is sum of these 3? This is 9 micro. So, this is 9 into 100. So, this will be 200 nanocoulombs. So, how much charge is going to pass through the first capacitor? 200 nanocoulombs. So, out of 900 nanocoulombs, 200 nanocoulombs will pass through this one, and it is clear that C is equal to Q by V. Here Q directly proportional to C. Why? Because in parallel combination potential remains constant. So, whenever the capacitance is more, charge also more. So, out of these 3, 2, 3, 4, it is having more capacitance. So, more charge will pass through this one. So, based on this one, as Q directly proportional to C, for 2 nanofarad 200, for 3 nanofarad it will be 300, for 4 nanofarad it will be 400, and sum of these 3 we know that the total charge is 900 nanocoulombs. So, this is how you can find out the charges that are going to pass through different branches of a parallel combination of capacitors. Instead of 3 capacitors, let me take only 2 capacitors of capacitance C1 and C2 connected in parallel, and this combination is connected to a cell of potential V. So, now what are the effective capacitances and potential drop across this one? The effective capacitance is given by C1 plus C2, and the potential drops V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V, and the charges Q1 is equal the total charge into capacitance in that branch by the sum of the 2 capacitors. This is the charge through the first branch. What is the charge through the second branch? The total charge into the capacitance in that branch, second branch by sum of the 2 capacitors. This is a charge division formula. By using this one, we can say Q1 by Q2 is equal. If we divide these two, QQ get cancelled, the denominators get cancelled. This will become C1 by C2. So, which is our result? Q directly proportional to C. So, just now we proved it by using a problem. Now, instead of 2 capacitors, let us say I connected n capacitors. So, the capacitors are C1, C2, C3, Cn, and this combination is connected to a cell of potential V. So, in this case what happens? The effective capacitance is given by sum of all the individual capacitors, and the potential drop across each branch remains the same, that is V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3 is equal to Vn, and charge division. So, what is Q1 here? So, Q1 is equal to total charge that we have to find out into the capacitance in the first branch by sum of all the capacitors, that is C1 plus C2 plus C3 and so on Cn. So, this is the charge through the first branch. What is the charge through the fourth branch? Let us say they ask to find out the fourth branch. So, this is Q into C4 by Cp. Directly you can write this as Cp or Cp. Now, if there are n similar capacitors, for n similar capacitor, that means all the capacitors are similar, identical capacitors, then how these formulas will change? Cp is equal, this will be C plus and so on C. This is nothing but Nc. For n identical capacitors connected in parallel, the effective capacitance is given by Nc, and the potential drop across each branch is same as it is equal to 1:1:1. And if you want to find out the charge that is passing through any one of this branch, this is Q into C by, this will become Nc. This is Nc. Cc get cancels. So, charge divided by n times. That means, if you give 100 coulombs charge, if there are 10 capacitors, so each branch, the charge through each branch will be 10 coulombs each. Out of 100 coulombs, if there are 10 capacitors, and each capacitor will have a charge of 10 coulombs each.